Okay, so today I have something interesting for you. We are gonna have a look at the subreddits related to technology, memes, Linux, and all of those stuff, including softwares in general. Before moving on with the video, I am using Windows. I'm in the middle of a software project and I was like,
my primary machine uses Linux. I need to use Linux.
And the team was like, no. Okay, so first of all, I have to say, finally, we do have an application which is completely Linux focused and which enhances an image. Like, this used to be a completely Windows thing, and now we have a Linux image enhancer. And looking at this post, I think it's focused more on Zorin OS, but it's really cool. It looks so cool. Like, have a look at that. Have a look at that. Can you do that in Windows? We can, but we can now do that in Linux as well. So hey, big up to this person, whoever is doing it, and yeah, you get an upvote. It's not that my upvote matters, but whatever. Firefox 1.04 was released, and I don't think anybody cares about it. I don't think there's any specific major enhanced feature in Firefox 1.04 which makes everybody hop into Firefox 1.04. So is there hope for Linux on smartphones? No, I don't care whatever the opinions are, but I am almost certain that Linux will never take over the smartphone market. Of course, like, discluding Android. I know that Android is Linux, but discluding Android, I don't think Linux will take over the market. The corporate approach of Microsoft, Google, and so on will make them be the first. Android has Play Store, and I don't think Plasma, Discover, and GNOME Software Center is gonna ever beat the Android Play Store ever in the future as well, because
sometime later.
So with that said, moving on to the next one, we have ultralight Linux laptop from Tuxedo with 99 WH battery. Watts? Does WH mean watts? Yeah, it does. I think Tuxedo hardware generally does a really good job in marketing. Like, have a look at System 76. I don't think I have ever seen a video wherein System 76 sponsored that complete video. Like, we have YouTubers like Linux Experiment and of course a couple of more YouTubers who actually deep dive and then sponsor the laptop, like Tuxedo and stuff like that. Okay, I think we are seeing very new laptops and hardwares in general, which is actually created by major companies like Dell, HP, and stuff like that, which actually comes in with Linux pre-installed. Like, whatever this laptop is, it has Ubuntu 22.04 LTS pre-installed, which means Linux is coming into the main market. This has to be the greatest news of all time, or is it? I mean, I don't think that this is a good news. I don't think that this is, of course, a bad news. This is, I mean, I prefer having applications and operating systems based on Linux, but as long as you convince people to use computers like this, Linux will always stay behind. So even if you have thousands of laptops out there which are in the main market, which actually has a lot of features and which could be used by anybody, even then people are not going to use it because they are not even aware of Linux. Like, nobody except my developer friends, some of my developer friends use Linux. Most developers, most of my friends, most of my developers, of course, use Windows, you know, obviously. And as long as there is some sort of awareness that Linux is better and Linux could do the job, people won't switch to Linux. How exactly would you define a server distro? Okay, so I think I just got bored of that. Let's have a look at some Linux memes. I'm pretty sure there has to be, like, yeah, there we go. Let's have a look at the Linux meme subreddit. realest thing I've ever seen. I had to take a moment to see the spelling mistake right here, which is remarkable indeed. I don't know if I could show this in YouTube. I'm probably gonna blur this part out. Yeah, I can see what this Linux meme refers to. Yeah, I don't want to explain this. I'm not gonna give a deep. Happens all the time. Me when a sleeping laptop with Linux refuses to wake up. No, never happens to me. You know what actually happens to me all the time? Let's say you install Arch Linux. It for some reason has this loud beep sound, which I hate so badly that one day I actually broke my headphone. Not this one, the other one. I actually broke a headphone because it was not good. Yeah, like even Endeavour OS, I installed Endeavour OS thinking that it would be beginner friendly and I don't have to configure a lot of stuff, and then I rebooted my system thinking that I have installed my NVIDIA drivers and it needs to reboot. The beep sound it created is so loud that my parents sitting in the other room actually came in and asked me, "What are you doing?" If there is a distribution developer who is actually watching this video, listen up. Remove that beep sound which comes in, and I don't want that beep sound. I don't think anybody in this world wants that beep sound to exist. Okay, so how it feels to be an artist and game dev right now. Proprietary software does anything, anti-consumer, open source community. This is actually so true. Like, I use all of these applications, by the way. Like, I don't use Krita extensively, but I use GIMP extensively, which means I used to use Godot, but what happened was that, I mean, as you guys know, I believe in open source, but Godot is not the best game engine out there. That's really what I realized. It's the best open source game engine, without a doubt. It is the best open source game engine, but Godot is probably not the best game engine, period. Like, I can see how Unity is the best game engine. I can see how Unreal could be the game engine for you, debatably. But Godot is, it's getting there. It's getting there. I am sure at some point, Godot will be like at the top notch. But at this point, I think Unity is the best game engine out there. Although it's proprietary, it has so much support that you can literally develop a game engine just using the community assets which you get for free without any support of coding or anything like that, which is just so cool just by itself. So yeah, big up for Godot for rising. It is a really rising really quickly. It has a fast pace, which I really love, but at the same time, Red Hat more like Glow Hat. Wait, what? Rare footage of a Red Hat worker. I get what he's trying to say. Like, first of all, why is a Red Hat worker walking in the forest? Oh, maybe I get it, because no, I don't get it. Alright, moving on. Wine subsystem for Linux. Wine while running in WSL. That's a really a top level acting by John Cena. I don't know. That it's John Cena, right? I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. I'm pretty sure that's John Cena, but if I want to run some Windows games inside, or Grease, which are only available in Windows, I don't know if it's available on Mac, but it's only available in Windows. In that case, I would probably use Proton Experimental, the feature from Steam, which is really good. It's rare that Wine actually works in the first attempt. It really is or difficult thing to set up as a command line interface. Okay, wait, before actually moving on, go ahead and then subscribe now, as in now. If I magically get 2000 subscribers at the end of the next 2 months, I promise that I'm gonna change my YouTube channel profile to anything you guys suggest. Literally anything. I only use free and open source software like Veracrypt. What is Veracrypt? I don't know. The FBI, when I encrypt my files before uploading them into the cloud. Remember kids, always use protection, especially with strangers. What is Veracrypt? It's an open source disk encryption software for Windows, Mac OS and Linux. I mean, I have never heard of this software because I don't encrypt my disk at all. So probably you guys might understand this, but okay. Paying for opaque software be like. Okay, when you say opaque, I assume you mean proprietary, like closed source software and stuff. I get to pay for this broken crap and get trapped in their ecosystem and not having control of my computer. Yeah, I actually can kind of relate to this. Like Microsoft to do not run cow say F. What? I don't get it. Okay, I am really slow at memes. Although I make memes myself, I am sometimes slow in understanding stuff like this. I don't know what this is. Just give me a functional Linux system with terminal. Me when I used to switch Linux distributions on a weekly basis. Yeah. Me now using Debian for okay, yeah, this is so relatable. Finally, I can actually say that I am not alone. You know, like, have a look at this guy. He's my guy, man. He's my guy. Yeah, I can completely relate to this guy. You know, like, I still switch operating systems very oftenly. Like, not every week, but at least every 2 months or something like that. You know, and that's the reason you see Fedora in my last video, you see Windows in this video, because I am in the middle of a project. And you're probably gonna see some other distributions in the next video. I'm doing this subreddit review or something like that. Hopefully I become like this at some point of my life, but I don't think I will, because every time you get that sudden new release of some new distribution, like for example, I am pretty sure that I am gonna convince myself to switch to Pop! OS when the actual Cosmic Desktop gets released, like the Cosmic Desktop based on Rust. When that gets released, I am gonna convince myself to use it on my primary machine, even though I know for a fact that I'm gonna probably switch after some time, after I get bored of the same interface because of no reason. But again, I kind of get this. Yeah, what is this? What is this? It's so satisfying watching the Linux community constantly argue. Yeah, again, you know what? This is a major reason why I think Linux will not be taking over Android. We are fighting in between ourselves. Like, the major competitor of Manjaro, for example, is not Windows. It's not Mac OS. Of course, it is Ubuntu. It is Arch Linux. I mean, of course, Manjaro is based on Arch Linux, but even then, Manjaro's competitor is Arch Linux. It's Arco Linux, all of those stuff. I think it would be really good if Linux tries to unify, but at the same time keep its diversity. So, you know, we could have the best of both worlds, I guess. My opinion, you can keep your own. You can comment down your own. Average Gen 2 user, they don't like binaries. I don't understand this. If there is a specific Linux distribution whose community will like the binary system, it has to be Gen 2, not anything else. So I don't know what this is. Okay, so when Debian user meets Gen 2 user. Okay, so I don't think there was anything related to Linux there. Average Linux enjoyer. Okay, yeah, I mean, Linux is an operating system. How else do you expect to get enjoyed from an operating system? You use the operating system to use other platforms like YouTube or Medium or Instagram or Twitter at Fading Geek. Follow and subscribe. Yeah, if you go ahead and then use any of these stuff, that's when enjoyment comes in, you know. Like if you are using Twitter, for example, that is enjoyment. You know, using Linux is probably not enjoyment, it's just using Linux. If you use Linux and you enjoy just using Linux, it becomes a distraction and not enjoyment, which is not what you want. A meme brought to you by Alpine Linux gang. Okay, so here we go. It says NSFW, which means, okay, yeah, moving on. Why did I even see that? Okay, whenever I'm in hurry, /sbin/reboot process term stop job. Oh yeah, this happens to everybody. Okay, so I am not alone. I am not alone in this. Everybody has this problem. Like, why does Linux do this? I mean, in some places I get this problem where I install a new proprietary driver of NVIDIA and it takes up a lot of time, and I understand that. But sometimes, for no reason apparently, whatever distro you're using, Linux just has this stop job thing running in the console user interface while you are shutting down, and this takes up a lot of time. So I don't know what the problem is right here, but I wish it was resolved. Windows does not do this. Windows don't do this. Even Windows does not have this problem. I don't know, in random places you don't know when you're gonna get this. You're just shutting down. Okay, yeah, this is something. Okay, I get it. I feel like OpenSUSE users would be not happy at watching this, but I mean, generally speaking, this is the truth, you know. If someone else just comes in and says your distro is bad, Ubuntu is the devil, if someone just comes in and says that, or the physical 8 cores of my processor, this Linux distro is so fast, the SSD disk. No, I don't get this meme, but what I can say for sure is that the creator of this meme is from the Indian subcontinent region of the world. I mean, this meme, as you might guess, is an Indian meme, so that's why I said that. It'll get you there. Okay, what? Oh, okay. Who knew that there was a tire named as Unix? I'm gonna create a tire called Linux from tomorrow. I mean, we'll see how it goes. About to update Hannah Montana. Whoa, do people use that? I always think that people never used distributions like this. I mean, who uses Hannah Montana Linux? Even if you are a big fan of Pink, do you want to use this? You could go use Windows. For me, In my case, if I am a big fan of pink, okay, so imagine that this is pink. I click on it, that's it. My accent color is pink. It's not as overrated as this garbage right here. At the same time, it's not so underrated that you don't want to have pink at all in your desktop. Having pink as your accent color, that will do your job. Like, you don't want to go ahead and then, I don't know if there are people who want this as their desktop. Like, come on. Media needs to differentiate. Hackers did thing. Don't confuse hackers with criminals. I mean, yeah, okay. Fair enough. Like, you don't have to. There are 3 types of hackers. White hat hacking is wherein you go ahead and then secure a specific product and then remove all the vulnerable stuff and then make it non-hackable. Black hat hacking is when you like hack in people without their permission. Gray hat hacking is wherein you hack in people without their permission, but you are doing it for their good. So when you say this, when you say hackers are bad, hackers are criminals, you mean that black hat hackers are criminals. That's the only kind of hacking which is criminal to do, you know. Go ahead, name every distro. So you are a Linux user, name every distro. Okay, I am doing that. I have actually released my previous video, which consists of about 80 Linux distributions. I am doing that, and there is a part 2 of the same video coming soon, wherein I'm gonna name more distributions which are in the Linux world. I'm gonna name every Linux distribution at some point of my time, at some point of my life. We'll see how it goes. One day, I kind of agree with this, like at some point of time, Microsoft will shut down, and at that point, Linux will be at the top, because let's be honest, Linux cannot shut down. The community is too large to even think about shutting down. Linux is not going to shut down. Even if Linux shuts down, Linux forks, or like operating systems like BSD, which are forks of Linux, they are never shutting down. So at the end of the day, this is going to happen, but I also assume that there will be another person behind Linux who is gonna dominate everybody. Like, Linux will not be the best, most dominating operating system of all time, because it's a community, it's not a corporation. So it lacks in features like advertisement. Yeah, that's really about it in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like this video if you are watching till now. Like, you like this video probably, so like it. I'll meet you in the next video. Stay tuned. Goodbye.